Video begins. Warm and inviting setting, perhaps a cozy living room or home office. The speaker is addressing the camera directly. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little different. It's personal, it's raw, and it's a story I've wanted to share for a long time. It says about my journey with my husband, his family, and how their initial disapproval became the unexpected fuel for my greatest transformation. The title says it all. My husband's family said I wasn't good enough, so I showed them who I am. When Mark and I first started dating, I was over the moon. He was everything I had ever dreamed of. Kind, funny, supportive. We just clicked. I couldn't wait to meet his family, to become a part of their lives just as he was becoming a part of mine. I imagined warm Sunday dinners, holiday gatherings, and building new, happy memories together. The reality, however, was a bucket of ice-cold water. The first time I met them, the air was thick with a tension I couldn't quite place. The smiles didn't reach their eyes. The questions felt less like friendly curiosity and more like an interrogation. I came from a modest working-class family. I hadn't gone to a prestigious university, and my job at the time was just a stepping stone, not a high-powered career. To them, my background was a red flag. The whispers started almost immediately, just loud enough for me to hear. Is she really the one for him? He could do so much better, she's just not at their level. The phrase that stuck with me, that echoed in my head for years, was she's just not good enough. Those words cut deeper than a knife. They made me question everything. Was I not smart enough? Not ambitious enough? Not sophisticated enough? I cried a lot in those early days. Mark was my rock. He defended me, stood up to his family, and told me their opinions didn't matter. He said, I love you for who you are, and that's all that matters. And while his support meant the world, I couldn't shake the feeling of inadequacy they had planted in me. I started to believe them. I would look in the mirror and see someone who wasn't worthy. For a while, I tried to change myself to fit their mold. I read books I thought they'd approve of, tried to engage in conversations about finance and politics that were completely out of my depth, and even changed the way I dressed. But it was exhausting, and it wasn't me. I was losing myself trying to win the approval of people who had already made up their minds. Mark noticed it, of course. He saw the light dimming in my eyes. One evening he sat me down and said, honey, please stop. I fell in love with you, the real you. Don't let them take that away. That was my wake-up call. He was right. Why was I giving them so much power over my self-worth? Why was I trying to earn a place at a table where I clearly wasn't wanted? That night, something shifted inside me. The hurt didn't disappear, but it transformed. It turned into a quiet, burning fire, a determination. I decided I wasn't going to prove them wrong for their sake. I was going to prove to myself that I was more than enough. So, I stopped focusing on them and started focusing on me. I had always had a passion for baking, a little hobby I did on the side. It was my happy place. I decided to take it seriously. I enrolled in a local pastry course. I spent my weekends experimenting with recipes, my tiny kitchen covered in flour and sugar. The criticism from my in-laws didn't stop, of course. They'd make snide remarks about my little hobby. They'd say things like, when are you going to get a real job? But this time, it didn't sting as much. Their words were just background noise because I had found my purpose. I started a small blog to share my creations. At first, only a few friends and family read it. Then, a local food blogger discovered one of my recipes. Things started to snowball. I created an Instagram account, and the visual appeal of my cakes and pastries drew people in. My little hobby was turning into a community. People weren't just loving the recipes, they were connecting with my story, my passion. It was the most validating feeling in the world. About a year later, I took the biggest leap of my life. With Mark's unwavering encouragement and our combined savings, I quit my job and opened a small bakery cafe. It was terrifying. The first few months were a struggle. There were days I thought I'd made a huge mistake, that my in-laws were right all along. But I kept pushing. I poured my heart and soul into that little shop. Every single cupcake, every loaf of bread, was made with love and determination. And then, it happened. The community showed up. Word of mouth spread like wildfire. My bakery became the go-to spot in our town. We were featured in magazines, won local awards. I was working harder than I ever had in my life, but I had never been happier. I wasn't just good enough, I was a business owner, a creator, a boss. I had built something from scratch, something that brought joy to people every single day. The best part, my relationship with my in-laws, it didn't change overnight, but they started to see me differently. They saw the long lines outside my shop. They heard people in town praising my work. One day my mother-in-law walked into the bakery. She didn't say anything at first, just looked around at the bustling cafe, at the display case filled with my creations. Then she looked at me, and for the first time, I saw a flicker of respect in her eyes. She quietly bought a box of pastries, and as she was leaving, she turned and said, "These look, professional, you've done well." It wasn't a gushing apology, but it was enough. It was an acknowledgement. My success hadn't been about showing them. It was about showing myself. But in the process, they couldn't help but see it too. Now our relationship is much better. It's not perfect, but there's a foundation of respect that wasn't there before. They see me not as the girl who wasn't good enough for their son, but as a woman who built her own dream. So, if you're out there and someone has made you feel small or unworthy, or not good enough, please, don't let their definition of you become your reality. Use it. Let it be the fire that lights up your own path. Focus on your passions, on what makes you feel alive. Build your own definition of success. Because the most powerful statement you can ever make is a life well lived on your own terms. Your worth is not up for debate. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It means the world to me. If this resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.